A trip to my local area model club. Had their annual open house day at their residence. Had a little look around the displays and managed to get upstairs this time. But they had a few bits of second-hand items for sale for the club funds, and this caught my eye. First of all, square modular building. It's a bit American-y, but it's got these little bits on the back. It's sort of like they've been tagged on in a later stage. You can see there with the roof, almost looks like the building's been extended at some time, but it was £4. It's got a couple of chimney pots and stacks missing, but nothing major. For £4, it's worth a punt. And they also had an unopened old Hornby plastic kit. I believe Hornby have sort of more or less copied this in their resin scaled L range, which is ludicrously overpriced, and I much prefer £2. Even when it was new, it was only $7.99, which is a far cry from the delusional people that try and flog them on eBay. Yeah, so I was out and about, so I popped into the local model shop in town and had a little rummage through his second-hand selection. There wasn't too much in the way of rolling stock and bits and pieces that I wanted or wanted to pay, but there was some goodies in the top little odds and sod box. So we bought some Pico platform sections, as I've got a few old scavenged second-hand ones and salvaged off my old set. So they're a couple of quid cheaper than they are new. Pico van roofs, which I can modify to fit the Hornby 12-ton vans with a little bit of careful carving without chopping your finger off, as I've done before. A Pico point motor for £1. Doesn't look like it's ever been used. They had another one in there which was £3, so obviously I chose this one. Not that I really need them, but £1 was a bargain, wasn't it? An EM1 SEEP electromagnet, which is ready for N-gauge, but I might experiment with it to see if it works on the KDs. I don't think it will, but it was £2. I can easily chuck it on eBay for a £5. If need be. I got this track gauge, an adjustable one. I think they normally come in pairs, but I couldn't find another one in the box. It was a couple of pound, might be useful when I'm doing the long flexi track lading straights, so I can keep it in gauge. And there was some Bachmann Scene Craft. I had to carefully look to see what these were, because we have to find right on the back air conditioning units. They're not quite as detailed as you would find from 3D printing from people like Timber Surf or something like that. They're definitely not. They want a bit of sort of inky wash to try and show the fan. Yeah, there's not a lot of detail to them, but they was £1. And down are our scale, 4mm to the foot. I've only bought them just to sort of bung on office walls and such like, just to give you that. I'm modelling 80s and 90s, and a lot of companies didn't want to spend the money that air conditioning units costed, so they weren't that commonplace unless they were in the more upmarket buildings. Apologies to anyone that's not getting a response from me when you've made a comment on, well, at the time of recording this, my last 3 videos, I've had comments either come up in notifications or via the Gmail notifications, and then when I've clicked on it to respond to it, it's gone. The comment's not there or whatever, it's been withdrawn. It's not in the held for review or anything. There's nothing there. As you see, I've got 4 comments, it says. I've only got 2. My Gmail says I've only got 2, but the direct feed from YouTube says 4. And the last couple of other videos I've had the same sort of thing where the comments, see, nothing held for review. The last two from Stuart and Dino, but if you're one of the other two people, I can't respond to you because YouTube says it doesn't exist. So apologies in advance for YouTube being shit as usual. It's been a lean week for me on this compilation of snippets in this video. A couple of Walthers tank cars. Let's have a look. So I don't think this camera really does them justice, but they're not bad. They're not sort of like the most modern iteration. Looking at the packaging, but they are fairly well detailed. You've got the fine railing, the hand wires. There are a couple of packs unopened in one of them for grab irons, which are so small. I've looked at the buffer bar, and they need the whole drilling out a little bit more, but they're such a finite detail you don't really notice it. But we've got all the sort of vents, safety valves, handrail wire. Did have to glue and get my finger there without touching it. That one was loose, so I'll just give it a little dab of glue, and the warning diamond pattern plate there, obviously someone's grabbed it there and bent it, so I just pushed it back and just tagged a little bit of glue onto it. But they cost me £30 for the pair, so £15 each, which for these isn't bad. Bear a Clockwick. So it has been a lean week, like I said in the last one, so much so that this is the next week. Nearly the end. It's now Thursday. So I had another £5 offer. I think it was over any spend over £15. Catch is it has to be sold and shipped by Amazon, which does sort of restrict the amount of models that they have. I did have a look for Walthers kits, but other than the one I bought last time, there's not really much of an option. This is advertised as like an agricultural farm barn, but there is an office sort of section or utility area upstairs, which I thought was even a TT version for the people that have made the mistake of buying a Hornby TT. An HGV workshop is what I'm thinking on the lines of. Hopefully an 1/76 scale won't look too big, as obviously this is HO, but yeah, that's a possible idea as to either utilise it for like a workshop for HGVs. But finally we have had some more items turn up. I'm pretty sure that they are what I think they are, because I haven't exactly bought a lot else, because as I said in the Hattons video, there's sort of a limited amount of stock I want now, although some of this I bought in job lots. So there's like wagons I do want and wagons that are inconsequential. I can use them or not. And these, I think, are a bit of a rocking horse doo-doo one for a UK HO modelers. Okay, so that's a quick overview. The good and the not so good. Well, the good, another reasonably priced, well, if you work out the cost between the lot. I need a few more of them if anyone comes across any. Another yeoman hopper. Always handy to have another one of those to drag behind the 59. And likewise a Tilbury hopper. There's a, you know, when I've bought job lots, I've ended up with a few of those. I may or may not sell them as a sort of collection. to someone that's modelling that period of time to get a little bit more money for them. And a good old British steel Grimsby fish. Got modelled for many things. Turned up in many railway sets, train sets, including my own many moons ago. An old Triangle well wagon, the old Great Western, I believe it is. It was adopted by BR. Staying with the good, obviously we've got a more modern VDA van and an OAA van. I mean, these regularly make £10 plus on their own. I normally pay about £7.50 for them. But another one, just a run-of-the-mill Hornby, sort of 12-ton I believe it is, coal van. The old rehash of the old grey one, which was the mineral wagon. This one got a little bit of a bow in it, if you notice the chassis bow. The weight had slipped forward, wedged in between there, and then obviously over time it's misshaped the chassis. I've pushed the weight back, so it's either a case of forcing it back down and super gluing it, or I'll try and detach the chassis from the body and just give it some gentle persuasion. Bog standard LMS brake van. It's the later Hornby made in England version with the plastic wheels, no pickup, no light, although you can put a light in these. It is the same body. And again, Great Western brake van. Bit of an odd one. I thought the bar was broken there, but it doesn't appear to have ever been made with them. Looks a bit odd like that, but yeah, it's an old Triangle jobby as well. Still got plenty of life left in it. Needs a little bit of clean up, but again, that's not something I'll be looking to keep. This is a bit more unusual. Obviously it's based on the well wagon, but this is a car carrier. But on researching it, it's for the old Triangle Minic motor cars and trucks, which was like a Falla car system back in the day, but it was a slot car system. And this actual flatbed is part of the slot car system. There is a rail each side for pickups. This would have been reversed into a docking station with a ramp coming up, and your current pickups are on there, which would have engaged in the side of the unit with the ramps in, so you could have in theory driven the car up onto here, because there would have been continuity, and stopped the car and then pulled it away. So it's a little bit different. So it, again, nothing I was particularly aiming for. To the right people, that's probably worth a tenner if they've got the car system, which is quite extensive, but didn't last the test of time, because I think you have very rich parents if you were going to have a model railway with all the road system to utilise the slot cars, and obviously buy all the vehicles. It looks great, great play appeal for the few millionaires that could probably afford to buy it all, but yeah, I think it fell down because who's going to keep buying it? It's going to be too expensive. It's always been a rich man's hobby, really, model railway. This came with it as well. It's got handrails missing. That bit's broken. That's easily repairable. Wasn't particularly bothered either way with this. I've took it apart. It didn't come like this. The weight had come astray. So I just popped the lid off just to see. It's also got the Continental couplings on it, although the bogies may. I can use those on one of my PTAs. Cut that piece off and put the NEM pocket on. So that could give me the two wheel sets that I need for one of my PTAs. So that could come in useful on its own right. If that's no good, the wheels are 11.5mm, so they're always useful as well if you've got Lima rolling stock with the wrong wheels on. So yeah, that was, I don't know, what was it, 50-ish quid, 49 something pounds. You remember I got those auto racks a few weeks ago for some strange reason, but a good one. Rails of Sheffield had a discount sale on, which meant they had a pair of Walthers auto racks, which I think I got for £54, and it's exactly the same as another set they've got on, other than the railway operators logo. They're all £89. They've got two Atlas ones and another Walthers one. They're all 90 quid. The Atlas ones are actually charging £7.50 postage as opposed to their standard flat rate of £4. Don't know why. Here I have a Walthers kit one. I've been looking for quite a while. I found a pair, £60. I thought, I can live with that. It's as good as I'm going to get them. And when I got paid, I went on the Clark, whatever site it is, and they'd sold. So I had a look on eBay. Nothing in the UK, stateside. You know, it's not worth even looking. You know, if you find one for $30, there's another $38 in shipping without the taxes. So I found this kit one, and the guy had another one and another one. You can see how long they are. They won't fit on a yard of track. This one's branded CSX, the kit version, which I presume if I can remove the panels I could just put the blank ones in. Actually it says made in Denmark here, so I would have thought they'd been made in Xinjiang. The instructions are printed in China, but there's a few more panels underneath here. If I can, looks like someone's had another kit, and there's the bits in here. There's different variations I think you can make, whatever they are. But yeah, I mean, when you look at the Railfran Insight videos there, it doesn't really matter who they're leased to now. They'll turn up on one another's networks. They're all Walthers products. The Walthers factory made one does feel slightly heavier. The kit one does come with a weight. Don't know why the person that made it didn't bother painting the chassis, but yeah. If any of you guys stateside knows what size KD I need to put in there, because obviously they're not a very long one. Slightly different pattern here. All the gear is at the front rather than along one side. Those tiny little wheels, they're going to find out any blemishes on my track, aren't they? So yeah, we now have 5. Now the crunch question is, what do I pay for these? The kit one was £24.99. The discount for me was obviously combined shipping. These were 30 quid each, which, when you think a Bachmann second-hand VGA van is £24 to 30 quid upwards, you know, they're comparing that long. So yeah, 30 quid. So basically all of them with the postage discount came in at about 87, 89, just under £89, £88, something like that, which is a chunk of money. But Rails want 90 quid for 2 in a box, and then another £7. So basically, if you look at it, that one was free. Well, it won't, because obviously I wouldn't have paid 90 quid for Rails. He did have a few more, and I did have a bit of a windfall. Only 100 quid, but basically they haven't cost anything. So it was tempting, because I thought, well, if they're not costing me anything, and I was going to buy a pair anyway, maybe I should buy 5. But I didn't. I'll probably regret that decision, but, you know, you can't go too mad, can you? Got to save my money for gets. Yes, we are booked up in the hotel. We have bought the VIP ticket for the 2 days, early bird and all that one malarkey. So, if you're still watching, I might see you at Gets, or not.